वैदर्भीं मलयध्वजः युधि निर्जित्य राजन्यान् पाण्ड्यः परपुरञ्जयः. It was fixed that Vaidarbhi, daughter of King Vidarbha, was to be married to a very powerful man, Malayadhwaja, an inhabitant of the Pandu country. After conquering other princes, he married the daughter of King Vidarbha. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is customary among Kshatriyas for a princess to be offered under certain conditions. For instance, Draupadi was offered in marriage to one who could pierce a fish with an arrow simply by seeing the reflection of that fish. Krishna married one of his queens after conquering 7 strong bulls. The Vedic system is for a daughter of a king to be offered under certain conditions. Vaidarbhi, the daughter of King Vidarbha, was offered to a great devotee and powerful king. Since King Maladhwaja was both a powerful king and great devotee, he fulfilled all the requirements. The name Maladhwaja signifies a great devotee who stands firm as Malay hill, and through his propaganda makes other devotees similarly as firm. Such a Mahabhagavata can prevail over the opinions of all others. A strong devotee makes propaganda against all other spiritual conceptions, namely Jnana, Karma and Yoga. With his devotional flag unfurled, he always stands fast to conquer other conceptions of transcendental realization. Whenever there is an argument between a devotee and non-devotee, the pure, strong devotee comes out victorious. The word Pandya comes from the word Panda, meaning knowledge. Unless one is highly learned, he cannot conquer non-devotional conceptions. The word Para means transcendental and Pura means city. The Parapura is Vaikuntha, the kingdom of God, and the word Jaya refers to one who can conquer. This means that a pure devotee who is strong in devotional service and who has conquered all non-devotional conceptions can also conquer the kingdom of God. In other words, one can conquer the kingdom of God Vaikuntha only by rendering devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Ajita, meaning that no one can conquer him but a devotee. By strong devotional service and sincere attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can easily conquer him. Lord Krishna is fear personified for everyone, but he voluntarily agreed to fear the stick of Mother Yashoda. Krishna, God, cannot be conquered by anyone but his devotee. Such a devotee kindly married the daughter of King Vidarbha. So we'll read the next verse also, which is in connection. Tasyam sa janayam chakra Atmajam asitikshana Yaviyasa saptasutan Saptadravida bhuprataha Tasyam sajanayam chakra Atmajam asitikshana Yaviyasa saptasutan Saptadravida bhuprataha. Can any devotees recite? Tasyam sajanayam chakra Atmajam asitikshana Yaviyasah saptasutan Saptadravida bhuprataha. Satyam sajanayam chakra Atmajam asitikshana Yaviyasah saptasutam Saptadravida bhuprataha. Okay, what meaning? Tasyam, through her, Saha, the king, Janayam chakre, begot, Atmajam, daughter, Asita, blue or black, Ikshanam, whose eyes, Yaviyasaha, younger, very powerful. Sapta, 7. Sudan, sons. Sapta, 7. Dravida, province of Dravida, or South India. Bhu, of the land. Brataha, kings. King Maledhwaja fathered one daughter who had very black eyes. He also had 7 sons who later became rulers of the tract of land known as Dravida. Thus there were 7 kings in that land. King Maledhwaja was a great devotee, and after he married the daughter of King Vidarbha, he gave her one nice daughter whose eyes were black. Figuratively, this means that the daughter of King Maledhwaja was also bestowed with devotional service, for her eyes were always fixed on Krishna. A devotee has no vision in his life other than Krishna. The 7 sons are the 7 processes of devotional service: hearing, chanting, remembering, offering worship, offering prayers, rendering transcendental devotional service, and serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Of the 9 types of devotional service, only 7 were immediately given. The balance, friendship and surrendering everything, were to develop later. In other words, devotional service is divided into 2 categories, namely Vidhi Marga and Raga Marga. The process of becoming friends with the Lord and sacrificing everything for Him belongs to the category of Raga Marga, the stage of developed devotional service. For the neophyte, the important processes are those of hearing and chanting, Shravanam Kirtanam, remembering Krishna, worshipping the deity in the temple, offering prayers, and always engaging in the service of the Lord and worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. The word Yaviyasaha indicates that these processes are very powerful. After a devotee engages in the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, and is able to secure these processes, he can later become a devotee capable of rendering spontaneous devotional service, namely Sakhyam and Atmanivedana. Generally, the great acharyas who preach devotional service all over the world belong to the category of Sakhyam Atmanivedana. A neophyte devotee cannot actually become a preacher. The neophyte is advised to execute devotional service in the 7 other fields, Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. If one can successfully execute the preliminary 7 items, he can in the future be situated on the platform of Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. The specific mention of Dravida Desha refers to the 5 Dravida Deshas in South India. All are very strong in rendering the preliminary devotional processes, Shravanam, Kirtanam. Some great acharyas like Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya also came from Dravida Desha and became great preachers. They are all situated on the platform of Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam Kardi Vacharam Pangam Langete Girim Yatravatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dhinataranam Paramanandamadam Shri Chaitanya Vishwara. Hare Krishna, we welcome all the devotees for the Srimad Bhagavatam class today morning. So I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and the Guru Parampara to speak something meaningful, to uplift our consciousness. So today we are discussing from this chapter, Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life. So till now was the description of the life of a attached, pious materialist, Puranjana. He was a pious person, but he was attached to piety, but he was ignoring devotion. So he was attached to his family, wife, children, property, his city, and he was taking care of them. He was doing his dharma very nicely. But that attachment could not save him from death. That attachment and those relatives, friends, children, he had thousands of children. All of them could not save him at the time of death, nor could save him from the pain of death. So finally, when death came in the form of time, Chandavega and other Prajvara and all the day and nights, they were attacking. So he could not fight, he lost. His life heir also, whom he trusted very much, he also gave hand. No? He could not save him. So he terribly lost. And he was carried away forcefully to the next destination. And because while dying, he was attached to his wife, as we read in the previous verse. Tameva manasa grannan bhabuva pramadottama pramada. He was thinking of a woman. Antaram vidarbhasya rajasimhasya veshmani. So because he was remembering his wife, in the next life he was born as a wife, as a lady, as a daughter of a king. So as per, we read yesterday that how, as per one's consciousness at the time of death, one gets the next destination. So our next destination is already getting fixed now by the kind of our activities. Moment by moment, whatever activities we are doing, what we are thinking, what aspirations we are cultivating, that is actually giving rise to the next body. Right now it is ready. If we die right now, this moment, whatever bodies we deserve, we are transferred to that kind of body. But moment by moment we can change that body also by elevating our consciousness to Krishna consciousness. If our consciousness is animalistic, then animalistic body is ready. Because whatever subtle bodies, scripts are there, that kind of body, physical body will get in the next life. Right? As per the mold, we make the design. No? Right? Whatever. We make the molds, we make the pots and other things. They make the mold, even metal things, they make the mold first and then they pour things into that. And that takes the shape. Similarly, the mold is the subtle body. So gross body is what is made above that. So actual advancement is actually advancing in consciousness. That's the most important thing. Advancement is not actually making money or making big buildings or costly cars or gadgets. Right? Those are all utilities, but that cannot be equated to advancement, real advancement. That's so-called materialistic advancement. But real advancement is advancement of consciousness, advancement of body. So if somebody is an animal body, if he can grow to a human body, that's advancement. If human can grow to a Devata body, that's advancement. If he can go back to Godhead, that's the highest advancement. So the real advancement is actually advancement in consciousness. And that advancement in consciousness comes by only practicing Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, as given in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. But somehow Puranjana had no contact with Gita and Bhagavatam. So he had only contact with Karmakanda portions of the Vedas. He was doing all these duties of family nicely, but that could not save him. That's why Prabhupada writes here, Karma Jnana Yoga should be rejected. They are of no help, they are of no use in solving the real problems of life. So the only thing which can help us is devotional service. So fortunately, by some great fortune, he was born as she, Vaidharvi, in the palace of Vidarbha, and somehow by great fortune she got a husband who was a pure devotee. And that devotee's name was Malayadhvaja. Upayeme Viryapanam Vaidarbhim Malayadhvajaha. Malayadhvajaha. So Prabhupada gives a very beautiful explanation for this word Malayadhvaja. Malaya means Malaya Parvat, and Malaya Parvat is strong, steady. Just like Himalayas are strong and tall and steady, they are not disturbed even when floods come or cyclones come, they stand steady. Similarly, Malaya means one who can stand steady without any disturbance, even in the most difficult situations, most tempting situations. Such a person is called Malaya. And Dhwaja means victory flag. One who can Prabhupada says here. With his devotional flag unfurled, he always stands fast to conquer other conceptions of transcendental realization. So that's the meaning of Dhwaja. Right? So we have His Holiness Jaya Pataka Swami Maharaj. What is it, Jaya Pataka? Pataka means flag. And victory flag means what? Bhakti or Krishna consciousness will be victorious over all other philosophies and conceptions of life. So that's the meaning of Malaya Dhwaja or Jaya Pataka. So Malaya Dhwaja, he was a great devotee. He had conquered over jnana, karma and yoga, and he was practicing pure devotional service. That was his qualification. To get such a husband is great fortune. So somehow she got this great fortune of associating with that husband, and she also took the benefit of associating with that husband. Right? Sometimes we may get association of pure devotees, but one may not be able to take benefit of it. But here she took the benefit of associating with him by begetting good children. Actually, this is an allegorical story, but it also has a real meaning, which Prabhupada is explaining parallelly, which will also be explained in the further chapters in detail. So, sometimes with great fortune, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva. We are also doing Brahman. Brahmanda Brahmite. After doing Brahman in so many bodies, millions and millions of lifetimes, we are rotating, and somehow, by great fortune, we have got the association of devotees, pure devotees. That's called Bhagyavan. So when we meet with a devotee, our good fortune arises. Till that time, we are unfortunate. When we meet a devotee and we get the mercy of a devotee, we become fortunate. And that fortune is the causeless mercy of the Lord. There is no condition for that. There is no criteria for that. That's why it's called as causeless mercy. When Srila Prabhupada went to America and he preached to the hippies became devotees, and once they asked Srila Prabhupada, we have got such a great gift of Krishna consciousness, what was our qualification? And Prabhupada replied, you had no qualification. I made your qualification, he said. It means what? By giving their association, the pure devotees make us qualified to receive bhakti also. We are not even qualified to receive bhakti and practice bhakti. So pure devotees, by their association, by their strong desire, they give us the qualification. If he becomes a devotee, it will be so nice. What qualification did Jagai Madai have? What is their qualification? Huh? Most fallen. But that's not the qualification to get bhakti. The desire of Nityananda Pura was the qualification. Right? When Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Pura were walking in the streets of Nadia, and they saw these two big, tall, gundas kind of people, they were beating each other. In one hand they were having bottle and drinking, and they were calling bad names, and nobody was dared to come near them. They were all standing far off and watching the scene. And Nityananda Pura tells Haridas Thakur, "What? See, these two people. I think we should give mercy to them." Haridas Thakur said, "You have gone crazy? They'll beat us up. So they are not the people whom we should be encountering. We are so weak and thin, and they are so strong and tall. And you are telling we will give mercy to them?" Yes. Because if these two people become devotees, then Lord Chaitanya's mercy will be glorified. It will bring glory to Gauranga. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So we want to make Krishna conscious victorious. So let's give them mercy. Of course, first attempt failed, but second attempt successful. So with great humility, Nityananda Pura approached and said, "Please chant Hare Krishna." And what was that? Madai beat him with a pot. But still Nityananda Pura was praying, let him become a devotee. When Chaitanya Prabhu came in angry mood with Chakra, still Nityananda Pura prayed, "Oh, please forgive them. Please give them your mercy." So that strong desire of Nityananda Pura was the only qualification. Even being fallen is not qualification. As long people are fallen, why don't they get mercy? But pure devotee's intervention is also required. And when pure devotees see that he is so much suffering, let him be relieved of his suffering. That becomes their qualification. So, uh, so Brahmanda Brahmate Kona Bhagyavana Jiv Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So somebody came to us, knocked on our door, gave us book or told us chant Hare Krishna or gave us a card and invited to the temple and prayed for us, did puja for us, chanted for us. That made us qualified. But sometimes out of arrogance we think, I am a great devotee. No, I was made a devotee by somebody's prayers, isn't it? And who gives the qualification to chant 16 rounds? Who gives the qualification to preach Krishna consciousness? It's all, right? Yogyata vichare, kichu nahi pai, tumara karuna sar, right? No qualification. Right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling, no qualification. Yogyata vichare, kichu nahi pai, tumara karuna sara. Karuna na haile, kandiya kandiya, prana na rakhi buara. So this is the mood which a devotee should be cultivating. That great humility, great dependence on our superiors, our gurus, spiritual masters. In that state of consciousness, one can advance properly. If one thinks that I think that I am great devotee, I am advancing, and by my own strength, then he is an illusion. But actually, we are all made of mercy of Guru and Krishna. So, by great fortune, Puranjani Vaidar got a good husband. Her name is Vaidarbhi. So she associated with him, and he was very greatly qualified. Yudhi Nirjitya, he had conquered all other enemies. And Rajanyan, Yudhi Nirjitya Rajanyan, he had conquered all other enemies. And Pandya, he was Pandit. Right? Prabhupada says the word Panda means learned. Right? Pandita means learned person. So he was Pandya, means he was highly learned in the concepts of bhakti, and he had conquered all other philosophies. And Parapura Jayaha. Pura means city, Parapura means Vaikunta, the topmost city. And he had conquered, means he had the right to inherit that kingdom of God. So he was such a personality. I mean, he was already gone back to Godhead. He was here, but he was already there. Means he was Jivan Mukta. All the while staying in this body, he was liberated personality. Such was the qualification of Malayadhvaja. Similarly, the spiritual master also, he may be here in this material world, but he is already in the spiritual world. He is in contact with the spiritual world. So that is the nature of our acharyas. They may be here, but they are there. Right. I think yesterday, Sunday class, or Aditya was telling that when Gopakumara went to the spiritual Brahma Jyoti, he saw some streaks of lights falling down to the material world. So Shiva, in Shiva Loka they were standing. He asked Shiva, what is this? These people are falling. And Ganesha said, actually they are acharyas. Krishna is sending them. Go to earth, rescue my people and come back. So many people are coming. In all Brahmandas, right? So many acharyas. Even in India only so many acharyas have come. What to speak of other planets? Other planets also acharyas come. What to speak of other Brahmandas? So many acharyas are coming down, and one of the acharyas is Srila Prabhupada. And Bhakti Siddhanta Sir is also called as a ray of Vishnu, right, who was sent down to deliver people of this world. So similarly, so many acharyas come out of great compassion and preach the message of Krishna consciousness and liberate us from this material world. So that is their compassion. So the acharyas are there in this material world, but we should not consider them mortals. It is an offense to consider a guru to be an ordinary human. Gurushu naramati. Considering guru is to be an ordinary nara, ordinary human, is an offense. And there is all good chance of seeing like that, because we see Guru also eats, Guru also sleeps, Guru also feels tired, Guru also takes rest, Guru also does all activities which we also do. We think he is also like us. But no. He is in this body, but he is not affected by the troubles of this body. He is completely transcendental. His consciousness is completely transcendental. We cannot imitate their consciousness. So they are completely spiritual personalities. Their body, although their body is material, it is spiritualized by their spiritual touch, by their consciousness. So just like iron in fire becomes fiery, similarly the body of the pure devotee is in touch with, constant touch with Krishna has become spiritualized. So that's a pure devotee's body is worshipped. Right? Ordinary body is burnt or buried. But pure devotee's body is worshipped even after they pass away. Because that is spiritual. That's spiritualized. So the kingdom of God can be attained only by pure devotees of the Lord. Krishna is called Ajita, one who can never conquer. Means who can never be conquered. But Ajita also becomes conquered by pure devotion. And the example is Damodar Leela. Srila Prabhupada quotes that. Krishna is fear personified, but Lord Krishna is fear personified everyone, but he voluntarily agreed to fear the stick of Mother Yashoda. And Prabhupada is putting Damodar Leela here. Today is beginning of Kartik month. Today is first day, right? Pratipad. So the beginning. So coincidentally this line is coming here in Purinjana story. So he voluntarily agreed to fear the stick of Mother Yashoda. Krishna, God, cannot be conquered by anyone but his devotee. Such a devotee kindly married the daughter of King Vidarbha. So such exalted soul can only conquer Krishna. Krishna never comes in the hand of anyone. It is said that yogis and jnanis, they may try to capture Krishna by all their attempts, but still Krishna becomes avichintya tattve, one who cannot be attained. Even if they run at the speed of mind for millions of years, still they cannot attain Krishna. But devotee can capture Krishna in his heart. Bhakti baddham. Right? He can bind Krishna with a rope. So that is the power of devotee. So devotion is so great that Krishna also becomes subservient to the devotion. That's why devotional service is very, very, very rare. It's called Sudurlabha. Very rare. Who can attain this kind of devotion? No. Even Shukadeva Goswami says that what mercy Yashodamaya got, even Shiva, Brahma, Lakshmi also did not get. That's the power of Yashodamata's devotion. That even the Supreme Lord became conquered by her love. So such love is not, so that's why Raga Bhakti is not offered to anybody. Vaidya Bhakti, yes, people may practice, but Raga Bhakti, not. So that comes to the next shloka, that by the mercy of Malayadhvaja, Vaidarbhi got a daughter. And what was her name? Asitekshana. Very beautiful name. Asitekshana. Ikshana means eyes. Asita means dark or black. One with having a black eyes. Why her eyes was black? Because she was always seeing Krishna. Because she was always seeing Krishna in her eyes, only Krishna was there, so her eyes were black. So there is allegorical meaning of this Asitekshana. Means, Prabhupada says here, figuratively this means the daughter of King Malayadhvaja was also bestowed with devotional service, for her eyes were always fixed on Krishna. A devotee has no vision in his life other than Krishna. So by the mercy of Guru, what do we get? Bhakti. And then Navida Bhakti, the 7 limbs of Bhakti are also bestowed to us. Just like here by the mercy of Malayadhvaja, Asitekshana was born, means devotion was born in her womb. Similarly, in the heart of a devotee, Shuddha Bhakti is born. Initially, the seed is put, and by nourishing it with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and all the Navita Bhakti, gradually that Bhakti develops. The pure devotional service develops. So just like the father gives the seed in the mother's womb, and then gradually it develops into a child in 9 months. जय श्री श्री राधा विनोद अष्टसखी वृंद की जय, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव मैया की जय, श्री श्री कौनिता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. So just like it takes time for the child to grow, similarly it takes time for bhakti also to develop and fully bloom. And how much time it may take depends upon how we are nourishing the tree. And the nourishment for the tree is Shravanam Kirtanam, the first 2 limbs of bhakti. And when the Shravanam Kirtanam is intense, Shravanam Kirtanam is done properly from the right source, then the bhakti develops and becomes a big tree and then gives the fruits of Krishna Prema. So that's why here, this figuratively it is explained here. But why only 7? She also got 7 children, 7 sons. 1 daughter and 7 sons. So one daughter is Bhakti, and then the 7 sons are Vaidhi Bhakti, Vidhi Marga. What is the difference between Vidhi Marga and Raga Marga? Which is spontaneous? Raga is spontaneous because there is attachment. Raga means attachments. In Raga Marga, spontaneous attachment to Krishna is there. But initially there is no spontaneous attachment, but one likes to follow rules and regulations. If one is liking to follow rules and regulations because Guru has told me to do it, that's called as Vidhi Marga. Vidhi means rules. Vidhi Marga means the practicing devotional service with rules and regulations. That's called Vidhi Marga. And the first 7 limbs of Bhakti are considered to be Vidhi Marga, and 8th and 9th limb they are considered to be Raga Marga. So Vidhi Marga should be practiced by all of us. Like Sakyam and Atma Nivedan, which are the last 2, Prabhupada says that they are reserved for very, very, very advanced devotees at the highest stage. But the first 7 can be practiced by even normal devotees. Okay. So what are the first 7? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoh, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. Till 7, till Dasyam. These are the 7 first 7 processes of Navida Bhakti. So these 7 we can practice, and to the degree we practice them intensely, to that degree we can elevate to higher stages and come to the stage of Raga Marga. And just practicing this 7 is not sufficient. We are also doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, we are doing Service Dasyam, we are also doing remembrance of Krishna, Smaranam, Padasevanam, and those who are pujaris, they may do Padaseva of the Lord in the altar. One may also do, right, Vandanam, offering prayers, Archanam, doing Arti. So all these activities we are doing, but if it becomes mechanical and ritualistic, then one will not go to Raga Marga. And what is the criteria for going from Vidhi Bhakti to Raga Bhakti? An intense longing or desire is required. That I want to serve Krishna, I want to attain Krishna, that laulyam is required. Only that if Vaidhi Bhakti is practiced with that intense desire or greed to attain Krishna, then only it will become Raga Bhakti. So just doing mechanically will keep us there only, and we may not get the higher taste. So at whatever level we are, if you want to advance to the higher level, we should do bhakti with full consciousness and with intense longing to attain Krishna. And if that longing is there, then we advance to higher stages. This is the basic criteria for going to the higher stages. And another criteria is one should have intense attraction to one of the Ragatmika devotees. That is also another criteria. One should be very much inspired by great devotees, especially who are in the Nitya Lila or in the Siddha Deha. They are actually in spontaneous devotional service, Ragatmika Bhaktas. To such devotee, one should have intense attraction. Then by their mercy, it is possible to elevate to Raganuga Bhakti. Otherwise, one will be stuck up in Vaidhi Bhakti only. And by Vaidhi Bhakti, one can elevate up to Vaikuntha. But if one want to enter Goloka, then one has to be in the stage of Raganuga Bhakta. One should have, without being attracted to somebody in Golok Vrindavan, how can we elevate there? Simple logic. So we should have some attraction, intense attraction to some devotee in that path. So especially our parampara is called as Rupa Anuga Parampara. Isn't it? Rupa Anuga, Raga Anuga, and especially we are Rupa Anuga. Why? Because our whole parampara is guided by Srila Rupa Goswami's literatures. That's why we are called as Rupa Anugas. And Rupa Goswami is one of the Manjaris in the spiritual world called Rupa Manjari. And she is assisting the Sakhis in serving Radha and Krishna. And he has given Nectar of Devotion, which completely describes the science of this Raga Bhakti, Vaidhi Bhakti and Raga Bhakti, right? Sadhana Bhakti and um, uh, Sadhana Bhakti, actually Vaidhi Bhakti has Sadhana Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti has Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti, and eventually it transforms into Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti, correct? So Rupa Goswami himself has given this technology, this science in the scriptures. And by following that, one can elevate to the higher stages of bhakti. And in specific, even within Rupanugas, we are Prabhupadanugas. And is Srila Prabhupada a Ragatmika Bhakta? Yes or no? There is some doubt lag raha tha. Srila Prabhupada is a Ragatmika Bhakta. He is from Vrindavan. And his heart is always in Vrindavan. Of course, Prabhupada did not reveal his Swarupa in any of his books or lectures, but sometimes he indicated of being in a playful mood with Krishna. Kata bane, luta puti, bane khai. What is that? When will the day come when I will be on the bank of Yamuna playing with Krishna, and then also eat with Krishna in the tiffin box and steal food and eat with him. So like this, that kind of desire Srila Prabhupada is expressing. So he is a very, very exalted devotee coming from Goloka Vrindavan. And that's why he could spread Vrja Bhakti. Right? If somebody doesn't have Vrja Bhakti, how can he spread Vrja Bhakti? Prabhupada is advanced Nitya Siddha, right? Ragatmika Bhakta. And if we follow in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, so we are also Raganuga Bhaktas. If we become Prabhupada-anugas, what are we? Raganugas. So one should have, for that, what is the criteria? We should have intense attraction for the activities and leelas of Srila Prabhupada. And more than that, teachings of Srila Prabhupada. If we can develop attachment to Srila Prabhupada and his teachings, and our life is perfect. Because we are following Raganuga Bhakti, by following his footsteps. Prabhupada said, do as I have done. If you just do what Prabhupada has done and follow in his footsteps, our success is guaranteed. Right? If you are in a thick jungle and you are stuck up there and you don't know how to go out, then somehow you come across a footpath. In the forest, no, they have this pathway which people have walked. And you keep following that, you will reach the destination. Similarly, Prabhupada has come here in this dense forest of material enjoyment, and we don't know how to get out. And Prabhupada has walked out of this material world, and while walking out, he has left a path. Chant 16 rounds, follow 4 negative principles. That's the path. And if you follow this strictly, sincerely, then we will also go back to Godhead. Clear? It is so simple. So, now by great fortune, Vaidharvi got Maladhara, and we have got Acharya Sri Srila Prabhupada and his disciples, who are also exalted souls and who are preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world, following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. And by their mercy, we have got Bhakti Lata Bij. We have received it, but now we have to nourish it, and we have to grow it. And by the mercy of Guru and by our own little bit endeavor, we can grow this Bhakti and then follow his Vaidhi Bhakti. And naturally, when we develop attraction to the pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, then we will also develop Raganuga Bhakti. And then, what will happen? We will go back to Godhead. We will also become Para Purajaya. We will also conquer the spiritual world. We will also go back to Godhead. So these, and another additional point Srila Prabhupada mentioned here is the 7 sons, they became the kings of Dravida Desha or South India. And Prabhupada especially says in the modern terminology, there are the 5 states of South India. What are the 5 states? Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So these are the 5. Prabhupada says all are very strong in rendering the preliminary devotional service processes. There was great acharyas in South India. They came and wrote bhajans, kirtans. They meditated on the Lord. They did service to the Lord. Right? Especially in Shiva Vaishnava, we see the Dasya Bhava very prominent. Right? So, Prabhupada especially mentions Ramanacharya and Madhvacharya. They came from Dravida Desh, South India, and became great preachers. They are all situated on the platform of Sakhyam and Atmanivedanam. Right? So Madhvacharya is such a great devotee that no, Krishna came all the way from Dwarka to receive his service. And Madhvacharya carried him in his hand and came and established Udupi Krishna deity and worshipped him and established such elaborate worship that even after 800 years he is still continuing without any compromise. Right? So such love and such system was established. And Srimad Ramacharya also established so many temples in Tamil Nadu, Melkote, and set the standard for Sri Vaishnava devotees. And there's many other acharyas also, like Alvars came, and Haridas, Dasa Parampara is also here. Right? So in Kerala also you'll find so many devotees in Guruvayur and Thiruvananthapuram. And so actually South India was the womb of Bhakti, where Bhakti took birth. So many acharyas took birth and preached all over Bharatavarsha. But unfortunately, in this same pious land, there is atheism and so many other philosophies are also now taking birth. But Bhakti is there. It's not, Bhakti can never be vanished. It is there, but somehow it's covered over by other kind of philosophies. But we all, also from South India, we should try to revive this Bhakti and make Bhakti more prominent by Maledhvaja, by putting the victory flag of Krishna consciousness, by preaching Krishna consciousness and defeating other philosophies and establishing Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti as the topmost. So that's our responsibility and our service to the Guru Parampara. So I'll pause here. If somebody has any comments, questions, we can take. Whether my bhakti practice is become ritualistic or I am really advancing. If it is becoming ritualistic, it becomes a routine. Like we get up in the morning, right, brush your teeth, take bath, and then take bead bag, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Khatam ho gaya. There is no feelings, there is no longing, there is no heart getting involved in that activities of bhakti. If one is putting one's heart, then he feels very happy and nourished. But if he's doing mechanically, he'll feel, oh, I have to chant 16 rounds. That feeling of burden or heaviness comes in the heart. But if one is very doing with heart, then he'll feel jubilant and nourished and happy. Right? Before doing, while doing, and after doing also. Pratipadam Purnamrita Asvadanam. But if one is doing mechanically, then 16 rounds. How much time it will take? 2 hours. Let me finish. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Like super fast Rajdhani, he will go and he'll finish it. And after finishing, khatam ho gaya. And sense of relief is there. So that means that it is mechanical. He is not putting his heart. He is not relishing bhakti. Right? One who is relishing bhakti will relish every moment by moment. And when I was in Bahrain, Urmila Mathur is telling, people think that, she told very nice point. She was telling that people think I am doing something, let me finish it fast so that I can do something else. Let me finish this so that I can go and take prasad. Oh, let me finish prasad so that I can have another meeting. Oh, let me finish this meeting because I have some rounds pending. Let me chant. Always what is happening? The current activity is going in mechanical mode and he is thinking about the future thing. She was telling, why not you relish current moment? Okay, I am hearing Bhagavatam now. Let me relish it now. And while eating prasad, okay, let me relish. Let other thing wait. Let me relish eating prasad. It's mercy of Krishna. And while doing manage and waiting for Krishna, let me do it nicely. Okay, chanting and wait. Let me finish this meeting nicely. Because it's also for Krishna. With full heart, let's do this. And then, okay, chant, whatever. So in that way, she was telling that no, devotees, when they worry about future activity, they are failing to relish current activity and missing Krishna in that current activity. So moment by moment, whatever activity you are doing right now, let's try to relish that activity. So that is the point she strongly mentioned in one talk there. Right? So chant, while you're chanting, let's relish chanting. While you're taking darshan, let's relish that. While you're offering obeisances, feelingly, heartily offer obeisances. While taking prasad, Krishna Padodaya Moya. You can think of Krishna's mercy and relish prasadam. So in that Krishna consciousness is so subtle that we may miss it. If you are not attentive, if you are in hurry burry, we may miss it. So that's the point. I don't know whether it answered your question, but I just spoke something. Hare Krishna. We will end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.